Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
I am that dude, Bodkins. Patty to patty. That's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy. Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkin Show. I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Bodkin Show. I am that dude, Bodkins, as always. Good morning. This is our weekly wrap-up show. Couple things. First, if I know you're saying, hey, where was last night's week 17, week 18 preview show? That has got to shift. Our Wednesday show has got to shift to Thursday nights due to me coaching my son's basketball team, and that's what time we have the gym. So that'll be tonight. And speaking of tonight, Santa Claus himself has come late, kids. My man Dan Harris is setting up something special here tonight on Let's Talk Sports in the Bodkin Show. So I just want everybody to know it starts at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so 4 o'clock Central Time Zone for us Central folk. It is going to be kind of a marathon slash to raise money for Damar Hamlin. So it's going to start at, again, 5 p.m. We're going to have several different guests. I'll be coming on at 8 p.m. and then we'll go, which is 8 p.m. Eastern, and then I'll talk, and then at 9:30 Eastern, that's when we'll do our week 17 show, and it'll all be part of the Let's Talk Sports show. We're trying to raise money for Damar Hamlin's charity. Dan has already donated $1,000 and says he will match up to $3,000 during the stream. So whatever somebody comments as they donated, just you would leave it in the comment section, and then he'll donate that as well. He'll match up to $3,000. And then he's going to give a LTS shirt and mug for the highest donation each time. Each time there's a change of host. So if you come on tonight at 4 o'clock, if you're the highest, or we're going to say Eastern time because this is the times that he sent me. So it's going to be Ryan and Matt Larson at 4. If you're on there and you bid the highest, you're going to get a free T-shirt and mug. And then at 6:30 Eastern, Ron, Alan, and Ronnie are going to be on there. They're a bunch of Bills guys. They're going to be talking a lot of Bills stuff and probably talk a lot about Damar Hamlin. If you bid that highest, and so say you do it again, you get another free LTS shirt and mug. And then at 7 to 8 is Tanner, Ronnie, Casey, plus Alan and Carlos from 7 to 8. And then your boys hopping on at 8 Eastern with Ronnie. And then we got Jonathan Grisham on as 9 to 9:30. And then starting at 9:30 is when me, Johnny, and the boys will hop on as well. And we'll do our week 18 picks. Plus tonight we're going to be giving out our awards. So please check it out tonight. Again, we're raising money for Damar Hamlin, the Bills football player who collapsed on the field and is still fighting for, his life is in stable, somewhat critical condition. The last we heard and the last we told. I think the NFL did the right thing. I think the NFL players did the right thing. That wasn't, something that we see every day, folks. It really wasn't. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him for, all the Bills, his family, the Bengals, everybody, Higgins as well. He seems to be getting a lot of hate. Like that play is a play that's made on football fields every Sunday. And he got up and then collapsed, and clearly it wasn't spinal. I think once we realized that it wasn't that, it was something more serious. Once they have to do CPR on somebody, folks, it's serious. So, life is short. Tell everybody that live life while you can. Tell the loved ones you love them and give them a hug. And we as commentators and fans love this game, but these guys got families to go home to and people who love them just like we do. So scary stuff on Monday. I thought the NFL did the right thing. It'll be interesting. I'd love to be a fly on the wall to see how they handle the situation going forward as far as the games and situation like that, especially with the playoffs right around the corner. And I mean, that was probably the biggest game of Monday Night Football, of the year. Two teams battling for that number one seed, Week 17. It's everything that you want for ESPN in Monday night, and tragedy happened. And we'll see what happens there, whether that game gets remade up and how they do all that. Let's go ahead, man. Let's get back onto this roundup here. Let's get into some college football. Man, those games, New Year's Eve was probably the most exciting two back-to-back football games you could ever watch. Michigan got down, battled back, made it a game to me, I guess, with TCU. Remember, I had TCU winning that game, or I had Michigan winning that game. TCU pulls it out 51-45, and just some high-scoring offense. But then you get the Ohio State-Georgia game. Ohio State gets up big, and you're thinking, man, it's all dogs, all coming up, all dogs, not Bulldogs, but, dogs as far as betting-wise. Then here comes Georgia. They take a late lead. I mean, C.J. Stroud gets his team down there, perfect field goal range. Kid just, absolutely just misses it bad. Wide left. So Georgia advances 42-41. Ohio State does cover, so I didn't have that. I went 0 for 2 if you were going by points. So the national title game is Monday, the 9th. That's on this coming Monday. It's TCU, Georgia. Georgia heavily favored at 12.5. I like Georgia money line, but I mean, the way they played against Ohio State and the way that TCU played against Michigan, I know that's less time to prepare, but give me TCU at plus 12.5, folks. That's going to be hopefully a good game. I don't think it's going to be as good as what we saw on last Saturday on the New Year's Eve games, but I still think it's going to be hopefully a good game. And that's all you ask for if you're not a fan of either team, but I hope it's a good game between both teams. But I like the Horned Frogs plus 12.5. I like the Bulldogs money line. But the way my college gambling has been going, I'll probably go 0 for 2 on those somehow. So I like Georgia money line, TCU with the points. Man, so let's get into some college basketball. It has been upset city. Even last night, you get into last night's game. Arkansas barely scrapes by Missouri. Number 20 Missouri, 13 Arkansas. Arkansas wins 74-68. I know you're not saying that's not an upset, but there was quite a bit of upsets. It's been upset week. Georgia upsets Auburn. Number 22 Auburn last night, 76-64. Georgia Tech upsets Miami. Number 12 Miami, 76-70. Duke gets blown out. Number 16 Duke gets blown out by NC State, 84-60. And then number 4 UConn gets loses to unranked Providence, 61-73. And then key matchup there last night as well. TCU beats Baylor 88-87. 17. That was number 17 ranked TCU, number 19 Baylor. Earlier in the week, Purdue, number 1 ranked Purdue, who was currently at that point undefeated, they lose to Rutgers 65-64. Craig's chiming in here. I like TCU to cover. People forget how many really good kids they got through the transfer portal, and just see the horned frog logo. Yeah, I think so too. They got a good team, man. I think because they're in the Big 12, a lot they don't get that national notoriety. But we'll see. They played really good against Michigan. We'll see what they do. But back to the college basketball here. Again, Rutgers upset Purdue on Monday, 65-64. It has been, like I said, it's been upset week. Texas lost, number 6 Texas lost this week to Kansas State, 116-103. Number 11 Virginia lost this week to unranked Pitt, 65-68. Number 21, New Mexico, who was undefeated at one point. They lost to unranked Fresno State, 71-67. So the rankings are going to go, I mean, a lot of different people. A lot of people are going to, the rankings are going to change drastically with all these upsets. I mean, since Monday, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight ranked teams lost to unranked teams since Monday. It's just now. They just played games through Wednesday. So that just goes to show you, folks, college basketball is heating up, and we're trying to figure out who's who. Tonight, there's some big matchups in college basketball. Currently ranked number 1, Purdue versus number 24, Ohio State. And then also, that's pretty much it for tonight's matchups. Let's see. I'm trying to look to see if there's any good big matchups this weekend. Big Saturday matchup. Iowa State beats TCU. Iowa State versus TCU on Saturday is the major, between two ranked. Hey, give me TCU to win that one, folks. Craig's chiming in here on the old college basketball. Some of these teams just haven't gotten respect in the rankings yet. NC State, Georgia, Providence, all really good basketball squads. They are, but they're not ranked, and we're going to see quite a bit of the shakeup in the rankings. We'll unveil the new rankings next week after all these upsets, because it's all going to change after this week. There is no currently after Purdue and New Mexico State lost, or University of New Mexico, sorry. After their losses, there will be no ranked, no undefeated teams in the top 25. New Mexico probably not even going to be in the top 25 after losing this past week. How far Purdue drops after losing to Rutgers, we'll see. I don't know. Let's get into some NBA news. Last night, my Bulls handled business. Beat the Nets, snapped the Nets' 12-game winning streak. Huge for the Bulls' confidence. And eventually the Nets were going to eventually lose, but they lose to the Bulls last night. Zion out 3 weeks with a hamstring strain. So that's 3 weeks. He's almost going to be gone a month. Man, the kid just can't stay healthy. He came into camp. He came in, seemed in shape, ready to go. Was playing at a high level, and unfortunately now has a hamstring strain. Looks like the Warriors could be getting Steph Curry back sometime soon. They lost last night to the Pistons, 122-119. Embiid sat out with the Sixers last night with a foot soreness, so he's kind of getting banged up. And then, that's kind of your quick NBA news. Remember last week we did our power rankings, and if you haven't got a chance, Luka Doncic is just tearing this league up apart, folks. He's been absolutely killing it. His last Like, I mean, give this kid the MVP. I think I had posted it somewhere on my Facebook or Twitter at what he was doing at one point, and I'm just going to go ahead and give you I'm going to find the stats here. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous what he was doing last week, and it just goes unnoticed because it's not the height of the NBA season. But here it is. His last 4 games, and this didn't even include the 51-point burger he put on the Spurs. So at one point is over his last 4 games, 50 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists on 56% shooting. 32, 9 rebounds, 9 assists on 56% shooting. Then he had a 60, 21 rebound, 10 assist game, 67. And then he had turned that around and said, 35, 12, and 13 on 50. The guy's freaking phenomenal. He's not the most athletic guy in the world, but man, he once said the NBA league is easier than Euroball, and he's making it look easy. Give that guy the damn MVP right now. Dude is an absolute stud. So let's get into some MLB news. Some quick signings real quick. Rafael Devers re-signs with the Red Sox, 11 years, $331 million. Remember, they had missed out on a couple big other free agencies. Remember, Bogarts left. But they're able to lock up Devers for 11 years, 331. Wade Miley's returning to the Brewers. Cubs signed Eric Hosmer, baby. That's what we needed. The Cubs needed Eric Hosmer. He's going to lead us back to the promised land on a 1-year deal. I'm kidding. I don't really believe that. So that was it for since the last week, the major signings in baseball. Again, not a whole lot of UFC news. I don't want to talk about Dana slapping his wife and things like that. There was this. We do got to talk about this. This came across the presser right as I was hit online. So this is huge, folks. If you're an MMA fan, I think Jake Paul has signed a multi-year contract with the PFL. He and his business partner, Nakisa Bediran, former CFO of UFC, now own equity in the organization as well. So not only is Jake Paul going to fight for PFL, he's part owner of PFL. He will compete. This a multi-year deal. So Jake Paul done with boxing now enters. I do think I'd still like to see him and Nate Diaz box. So hopefully we can get that done. But now he enters the world of mixed martial arts and PFL. I think it's a big get for PFL. Jake Paul, you can say what the hell you want about him. Eyeballs draw to Jake Paul. A whole new generation. I don't really know dick about the kid. I think sometimes what he says is I buy into as far as like a fighters union and all that. I am 100% behind a lot of that stuff. And then, I mean, he's out here beating a bunch of guys, but people buy it. You know what I mean? So I think it's a nice view for PFL to go get. Remember, him and Dana got this beef. And if you're Jake Paul, like, you go in and you do well in MMA, that shuts up everybody. That shuts up everybody who says you're just beating up a bunch of old MMA fighters. And now you're really in the thick of things. Now you can put this fighter union together. Now you can go after people who are talking shit. Do I think it'll take a while for him to develop some ground skills and wrestling skills? Absolutely. Kid can box. He's a good amateur boxer. And we'll see how good he is at MMA. Craig's chiming in here too, and he says, Jake Paul, big eyeball and money grab for PFL. I think so too. And then you got his money. He's going to pour money into the league as well, to the PFL. So I think it's huge on both ends. Good for the PFL, good for Jake Paul. and we'll see. I miss the Jake Paul generation as far as like, I know he's a YouTube star and that's a Disney kid. I don't know anything other than that about him. And then he's, fought a few MMA guys in boxing. Looked really well. I mean, obviously when he beat, who was it? Nick Robinson. That wasn't that big a deal. But then since then, he's grown and he's gotten better and he beat a couple other people. But yeah, Ariel Helwani just tweeted that, folks. Jake Paul signed a multi-year contract with the PFL. He's going to own part of it, but he is gonna fight MMA. So I think just such a huge get for the PFL. Jake Paul has now throwing his hat into the MMA world. Fascinating. Well, that's a big story to me heading into this year of 2023. I was going to see one last second here. Oh, I want to get some quick hockey notes real quick. The Canes they snapped their 11-game winning streak. And that was pretty much it. It says the NHL is giving fans more influence on all-star rosters. So it sounds like they're going to go the baseball route. And that was pretty much it. No, not a whole lot of hockey. Oh, Craig wants to chime in here on this Jake Paul situation. Give Jake Paul a chance to put his money where his mouth is on fighter pay benefits long-term. Could send a shift of guys to PFL from UFC. I think so, Craig. We already saw that. Like, we've already saw a guy like Shane Burgos, who it was a ranked fighter in the UFC, head over to the PFL. He's getting paid more money and has opportunities. They're taking care of him more financially. I don't know if we'll ever see like the top stars who are at the top, those title contenders go, but those middle guys, if you're a middle guy, why not? Why not go to the PFL? I think the PFL is the second best promotion in MMA. There's UFC, and I think the PFL has passed Bellator as they continue to grow that brand. I think the way their system is set up, the way they're doing things, they need to get rid of the pay-per-view was a bad idea. I wasn't a fan of the pay-per-view that they had. But I think the way that they're taking care of people, because guys are getting paid to fight. And then if you win your tournament, you're winning $1 million, obviously with taxes taken out and stuff. But still, I think you're going to see a few guys, those middle guys from the UFC that maybe I'm not quite a title contender, or maybe I'm just still middle and at the bottom of the rankings. Let me go to PFL and let me get some money and try to win some fights and make a name for myself. All possible. I really think so. I think it's a huge thing for Jake Paul and the PFL to go to collab. He had talked about in an interview that he was in negotiations a while back with a league, and I was just thinking it was just smoke and he was just talking shit. But no, guy has been right there. We're going to see if he puts his money where his mouth is. I mean, how good is he going to be? Again, like, it's not boxing where it's just stand up. Like, there's so much you have to do in mixed martial arts, whether it's ground game, stand up game, submission game, cardio. To me, it's one of my the last true of the gladiators. And that's why I love the sport itself, because it's something I can never do and never will even thought about doing. So I credit all the fighters that get in there and it's insane. Put their lives on the line and kill or be killed type situation. So, hey, I love it. Anyway, folks, it's been another great episode of the Bodkin Show. Again, please tune in tonight. I'm going to get those details out again. Dan Harris is put up. He is the founder of Let's Talk Sports. Has helped the Bodkin Show grow tremendously. Again, let me pull up the email he sent me. It starts at 5 Eastern. He has already donated $1,000 on behalf of Damar Hamlin. He will match up to $3,000 during our stream for every person that donates. All you have to do, we'll put the link. I think he's going to put the link to the donation, and then you just donate. You put in the comments how much you donated. Dan will match that for every time we shift host, because it's going to be one continuous stream from pretty much 5 Eastern to probably my show usually gets done about 11:30 Eastern. So, I mean, we're going to be on air for 5 hours. So it'll be Ryan and Matt from 5 p.m. to 6:30 Eastern. And again, if you donate during that time, you're the highest donator at that time. You win a free LTS mug and T-shirt. And then at 6:30 to 7, it's Rob, Allen, and Ronnie talking all the Bills. They're going to talk a lot about Damar and the Bills and the playoffs as well. That's 6:30 to 7. Again, if you're the highest bidder during that time, you could bid again in one block and then you win another LTS mug and T-shirt. And then Tanner, Ronnie, and Casey plus Allen and Carlos at 7 to 8. And then I'm on with Ronnie at 8. And we got Jonathan Grisham coming on to talk baseball from 9 to 9:30. And these are all Eastern times. And then at 9:30 Eastern, me, Johnny, Craig will be talking week 18, giving out our NFL awards as well. That all happens tonight. So tonight is a special episode. We're dedicating the whole thing to Damar Hamlin. We're trying to raise money for his charity drive as he continues to fight for his life. And I mean, Dan Harris has done it again, folks. This guy who is, I mean, the cards have been stacked against him, his life, and he has persevered and has gotten, he's in his own battle with things. I don't want to, as he continues to try to fight, and he's always thinking of other people. One of the most selfless people I've ever come across, and kind-hearted people I've ever come across. And he is at it again, putting his own health issues aside, sees something on TV that we all want to take part of and be, pray for. And Dan says, hey, I'm going to put my mind, my money in my mouth and put it all out there. So again, as soon as he asked me, I said, absolutely. Count me in every time you need something. And this is for a great cause tonight for Damar Hamlin. And I'm excited to be a part of it. And so it'll be a nice little show tonight. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to be part of it. And again, Dan Harris, we appreciate you and everything that you've done. So join us again tonight, folks. It'll be on Let's Talk Sports, the Bodkin Show, all the YouTubes. We'll be streaming it in about 8,000 different locations. So, and then all you have to do again is just donate, comment how much you donated, and that way we can keep track of who was who and at what time and everything else. And then Dan will match up to $3,000 that we can make. So the most, hopefully we can match that. We can make the 3,000. Dan has to match it, and we're donating $6,000 to to Damar Hamlin's family or his charity. So. All right. Well, again, join us tonight. That happens. The first it'll happen is at 5 p.m. Eastern. Well, and it'll still be streaming on here on the Bodkin Show, my channel, the Let's Talk Sports channel, all the channels, YouTube's, Facebook's, everything. Wherever you're watching us, it'll be streaming on there. That'll start at 5 p.m. Eastern, and it'll go till about 5 hours. So even if you hop on for a little while, hop off, hop back on, please do check us out. A lot of great things, a lot of great people here at Let's Talk Sports. Dan always says we're a community, and I 100% believe that. And he is the strongest leader of the community. So we'll see you tonight. I'm excited, and we'll see you then. I'm going to hit that outro as soon as I find it. There it is. See you guys. you.